just keep rolling over these days. It's wild. It's already Tuesday morning here in Sydney. It's Monday evening in America. Wherever you're tuning in, I say welcome. As you guys begin to shuffle in, check in, let me know where you're tuning in from. We got a busy week on the channel. We got a busy week in boxing. If you guys are betting, it's a busy week. It's going to be one of those weeks where the odds are pretty wide right now. So, you know, I'm not going to give anybody locks or even say these are my locks. I historically like waiting till the end of the week as the odds start kind of settling down and prop bets start opening up and options for over and unders, knockdowns, all that good stuff. So, guys, we are having Wednesday night boxing here in Sydney, Australia. So I'll be at the fights tomorrow night at the Kudos Bank Arena in Sydney. I just uploaded the main events, Paul Gallen versus Sonny Bill Williams. Guys, internationally, you're not going to know these names. You might know who Paul Gallen is. They are household names here in Australia due to their both Hall of Fame rugby careers. Gallen is a guy who has shared the ring with better fighters. He has a stoppage win over Big Daddy Lucas Brown. And at the time, only a few years prior, Lucas Brown was and became the first ever heavyweight world champion from Australia. He eventually got stripped due to PED popping. So Gallen was in the ring with him. Gallen has a win over Mark Hunt. Gallen fought Justice Hooney. Gallen is 43 years old. Sonny Bill fought Mark Hunt, lost to him. The odds are pretty much kind of a flip 'em at the moment, a coin flip. And on my breakdown, analysis, and prediction, if you haven't seen that, guys, if you just tune into my live streams and you want to see the edited, produced 10-minute videos, go to my playlist, find fight predictions. That's where all those are. The thumbnail that says stats don't lie, that's where you're going to see breakdowns, my logical reasoning, and my money line pick. Currently, guys, I think Paul Gallen is the smart money on that. My betting app down here in Australia isn't really offering me any other fight other than the main event, but normally it's on fight night, they're going to open up. What's up, Mar the Prince? So, yeah, as you guys are tuning in, checking in, one more thing before we start taking comments and start getting into the debates like we always do on here. I will be uploading today Usyk versus Dubois. So I got Usyk versus Dubois coming. I got Diego Pacheco versus Macumbi coming. Bam Rodriguez versus Cafu. Barrios versus Pacquiao. I want to try to get to Shushu Carrington. I want to try to get to Pitbull Cruz. Emma Williams fighting. I like Arturo Cardenas. Not a lot of people know about him. He's still kind of just, you know, a domestic guy. Arturo Cardenas, we featured him on the channel. He was on the undercard of, I think it was Ennis versus Stanionis. He was supposed to fight one of Ennis's stablemates, but during fight week, he pulled out, and then Cardenas got a late replacement. He looks good. He's a fun prospect. His box rec will say Arturo Popico, but he goes by Arturo Cardenas. He's a fun prospect. Mark Magsayo's fighting this weekend. I know a lot of Filipino fighters are high on him. The return of Gary Russell Jr. What's up, Joey? Cigar, Pacheco by stoppage. Feels like a lock. What do you think? Or fight not to go to the distance, great odds. I think Cigar, that would be the wise thought, right? You know, we know boxing here on the channel. You guys know your boxing. That would be the wise pick, is Barrios to stop a 46-year-old Manny. But we have to think about, do you think that one fighter, I don't know. That's a weird one for me to kind of bet a method of victory. Does Barrios carry him? Does he not go for the knockout? Is there an unspoken sort of agreement? I don't know. Is there vitriol behind that matchup? So, like I said, I'm still not sold or convinced on any of my method of victories yet. I do have a 4-leg money line parlay I wanted to run by you guys. What's up, PJ? So, what do you guys think of this 4-legger? It's $1.61. This is just money line. If you're going like some of the big boys, 10 grand gets you 6 grand. These are just money line. What do you think about Usyk on the money line, Picasso on the money line, Pacheco and Bam on the money line? So right now, Bam I have him at $1.07, but he's dropping quickly. Bam's at $1.07. Pacheco's at $1.08. Picasso's at $1.10. Usyk's at $1.27. I really don't like going too heavy on 4-leg parlays, but right now those seem like locks to me. As the week progresses, I'll make a decision or not if I'm going to pull the trigger on those 4. We'll see. I'm kind of torn on the Usyk-Dubois fight. I know that last week I was convincing myself that Dubois could have a puncher's chance. I'm not so sold yet. I got 1,000 on Manny. His sparring partners are great for Mario style. Nathan, you're putting 1,000 on Manny? Nathan, he's 46, mate. I think PBC are going to help Pac-Man here. Yeah, right now, guys, I'm staying away from Barrios Pac-Man. Banned by stoppage was surprisingly high. Well, he's fighting a tough guy. I mean, Cafu, South African, tough guy. What's up, Joey? Yeah, I don't know, man. 1,000 on Pacquiao. That's a risky bet. But if you got the bankroll to bet and you're a Pacquiao guy and, you know, you're having fun rolling the dice on, you know, $1,000 bets, do it. I'm not going to talk you out of it. I like Chris. A knockdown prop would be good on Dubois, Usyk. Yeah, Pac's 137 years old. Usyk did beat him already, PJ. Usyk did beat him already. So, yeah, once again, I'm not going to call this my locks, but I want to hear you guys' takes. Usyk money line, Picasso money line, Pacheco money line, Bam money line, $1.61. You go real heavy. I'm doing it in increments of 10K. 10K gets you 6,000 back. A couple of you boys bet like that. So you asked me in the comments once to do, because I always do in my Stats Don't Lie videos increments of 100 for me. But some of you boys do increments of 10K. I'm like, all right, I'll do increments of 10K. So the $1.61, 100 on it gets you 61 bucks back. And then the way I like betting is if you go 100 on 161, you get your money back plus 61. You keep it in your account. Then you can take that 161 and parlay it to a 3-to-1. And if that 3-to-1 hits, you get close to 650 back. And then you can take that 650 and double your money. So that's one way of looking at it. Or the big hitters, the big wills will take the 10K at 161. Look at it like not a lot of the risk for reward. It's over a 50% return of investment. 10K gets you 6,000 back, and then you just take the 16,000 and just play with it. I'm not even sure where to start. I know, Goat. I know. So Chris, I like where Chris's head's at. He's already looking at method of victories, over and unders, Barrios. Guys, this might be. Guys, are you feeling like right now when I'm looking at the matches? I'm kind of like they're making these matches are like having us big-eyed, but some of the fights, man, like Zoo versus Fondora, where do you guys stand on that? I'm still torn on how I'm gonna go about breaking that down and how I'm gonna go about betting on it. I got to be honest with you, boys. I might not bet Zoo Fondora. I might not bet Pacquiao Barrios. There's some weird matchups. If you think he'll look anything close to how he did against Ammo, it will be highly incorrect. I dropped the interview with Sean, said he did not train for the exhibition. What did I miss? Oh, I think you're referring to Pacquiao, the exhibition he had in Asia. Bet we have to watch the yeah. Joey, what's up, buddy? Yeah, Fondora versus Tim. Like I said, we saw Fondora against Cordell Booker. What do you guys make of Cordell Booker? We saw Tim versus Joey Spencer. What do you make of Joey? I got Ammo right now at $1. I don't like betting on Ammo Williams, guys. No shade on Ammo. I don't like betting on Ammo. Ammo's at $1.16 right now. But to answer your question, guys, let's open up Zoo versus Fondora. Okay, let's take a couple minutes and open up Zoo versus Fondora, right? Zoo versus Spencer, what do you make of that victory? Fondora versus Booker, what do you make of that victory? Zoo versus Murtazaev, what do you make of that loss? Fondora versus Zoo, what do you make of that outcome? I got to be honest with you guys, when I'm watching people breaking down Zoo versus Fondora 1, I still kind of get perturbed when people were saying Zoo was running away with the first fight. I don't see that. The first fight was 5.5 minutes before the cut started. People were like, "Oh, the Zoo was having his way with Fondora before the cut." I didn't see that happening. I mean, it'll take you guys 5.5 minutes to watch the first round, the first 2 rounds. The cut happened at the very end of the second round. I don't see when people, because they're using that theory as a reason to say that Tim did that before the cut. Tim's going to do that in the rematch. I don't think Tim's the same guy. I don't think that's too hard pressed to say Tim's not the same guy before the cut. Yeah, I disagree. I mean, they were both landing. Fondora was landing his shots as well. It wasn't like it wasn't one-way traffic is my point. I'm not saying Tim wasn't landing, but some of the narratives going around is that it was one-way traffic. What's up, David Eister in the house? David, who you betting on this fight, Eister? Where do you see? Where's your money at Zoo versus Fondora? It's an interesting one. 1 week notice for Tim. What up, Jay? TJ in the house. That's just said that on Gary's. I had Tim. Don't think he's the same. Okay. TJ, I got your email too. Jesus Christ, man, you're a wizard with your bets. TJ, you're Higgins, right? Because a lot of you boys email me and message me. I don't know. Sometimes your tag names here are different. I'm not gonna bet on Zoo Fondora. Yeah, guys, I'm kind of torn on it too. Just for the sake of my channel, I have to make a prediction. So I'm definitely gonna make a prediction on it. I just don't know where I'm going. I might not bet on it. Money Meech. I honestly like the fight to not go the distance. Both have no defense. David Eister, I'm through. What Zoo needs to do now is not throw one shot at a time watching the fight back. I saw Tim stunning Fondora when he threw combos. Unfortunately, he kept throwing one punch. I think it's fair to say, though, that same Tim is not the same Tim. I might do ammo money line at Usyk Dubois over 0.5 knockdowns. Goat, man, I kind of stay away from betting on Ammo Williams. He's won me money before, but I don't trust him. Anyone touching UFC. I'm gonna get some action on UFC, Chris. I hit a 5 leg last weekend on the UFC, and I hit a 2 leg. There's money to be made in both boxing and UFC. I keep the channel boxing only on the uploads, but live streams we do get into MMA and UFC here. All Tim is going to see is Bakram. What if Tim sees Joey Spencer though? Baker, Tushitsky, Waterman, Havelock. I'm not getting any of those options for those fights. Havelock's talking about the undercard of Sonny Bill and Gallen. What do you think about Oakley fight? What's up, Lloyd? Yeah, Oakley's fighting Lorena. We've seen Lorena before. Decent odds. Lorena's never been stopped, has he? Isn't Lorena the guy who fought Justice? There's just a lot of matchups where I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. Yeah, a lot of people are high on Ammo. I don't know. He's fun to watch. I don't know about risking too much money on Ammo Williams, though. Loreno got stopped. Okay. Well, PJ, if you're playing that card, I mean, Brian Mendoza stopped Fondora, if you're playing that card. Mendoza, what? Is Mendoza maybe a couple inches? Tim's listed 5'9". What's Mendoza listed at? Just to push back on your theory a bit. Bro, I think Fierro would give guys at 149 a tough fight. Yeah, there's a lot of matchups where it's going to be one of these weeks where I think it'd be ill-advised to be too big-eyed in terms of where you're putting your money. You know, I think it's wise. It might be one of those weeks where it's wiser to just be, a few bets. Mendoza just fought last weekend. Did you see that, boys? Mendoza went to Mexico. If you follow him on Instagram, Mendoza went to Mexico to get back on the winning track. He fought. The fight wasn't televised. The fight wasn't really promoted. And I wish it was. I wish I knew Mendoza was fighting. I like watching him fight. Okay, yeah. So Lawrence Okoli, so he did get stopped. Dubois stopped him in the third. Okay, I stand corrected. Yeah, we got. You remember the boys were doing boxing maths with Justice Hooney because he couldn't stop Lorena. TJ, where you at with your money with Zoo versus Fondora? Guys, wherever you're tapping in, we're about 15 minutes in. Let's like this video. We're floating between 40 and 50 people. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. We're currently going back and forth on Zoo versus Fondora. Some of the boys are asking about Gallon versus Sonny Bill. I'm going to that fight. I like Gallon. I got Gallon at 225 versus Sonny Bill. Granted, we haven't seen Gallon in a few years. I don't think I missed that. What did you say? I don't think Fondora is bad. It's just that he doesn't fight to his strengths, and as a result, his power ain't great. Still lands hurtful punches. I believe stoppage might be the best play. What's up, Tweez? No picks. Which fight? Stoppage. Fondora. Okay. What's that, Pan? Fight not to go the distance. Yeah, this is the time of the week, boys, where we're all second guessing. Put up a poll. Tim versus Fondora. Yeah, I'll do that because I'm streaming right now on my iPhone, so it's not giving me options. I'll do that when we get off. I got it the same way. Okay, what's Zoo versus Fondora to not go the distance? Will the fight go the distance? No, $1.90. See, everything about this fight, the odds, Zoo versus Fondora, everything on paper is almost a 50-50. Even, will the fight go the distance? Even money. Fondora right now is a 220 dog. There, my money is passed on that for upset. I like Joet versus Figgy. Yeah. God damn, it's hard for me to put $1 on Figgy these days after seeing the way Brandon fought against Fulton. But then again, Joet out. You're gonna bet your money on Joet for the upset. I could see it. I mean, you're not going too heavy on Joet versus Brandon, are you? Because I mean, when you see Brandon, what he is at his best. When you see Brandon at his best. And then that version should be Joet. But when you see Brandon against Fulton, it's like, did he cash out? Did he clock out? I thought he was going to retire. I'm shocked we're even seeing him again. Can you talk about Bam at this? Yeah, Bam is fighting. What's up, Edgar? Bam fighting Cafo, undefeated South African fighter. When you look at Cafo's record, 3 draws. He wants to get you out of there, so he's going to be there to get hit. He's aggressive. Watch his tape. Bam's a huge favorite on the money line. I think maybe a knockdown prop. DJ in the house with Tweez. Boys, if you haven't already subscribed or joined our Johnny Says Boxing Insider group, it helps the channel out. It's a couple bucks a month. What we're doing that is growing that. When you go to my channel, if you've already hit subscribe, it says join, couple bucks a month. This is, you're going to get a lot of different sort of options on the channel that you're not going to regularly. Bam by knockout for sure. Victor, sub Johnny chat, upset alert coming. I don't know if he'll get knocked out. Maybe a knockdown? Havelock, you could see Tim catching. So Havelock's saying he could see Tim catching Fondora just like Brian did, but could you see Seb catching Tim like Murtazaev did if you're playing that logic? PJ, I told you I'm not going to put a poll up on the live stream. I'm going to put a poll up when I get off the live. So Havelock, your theory is because Brian did it to Seb, Tim could do it to Seb. But wouldn't you be able to say in the contrary that because Murtazaev did it to Tim, Seb could do it to Tim? Appreciate you, Tweez. Appreciate you, boxing fan. Fondora is a good counterpuncher. Pacheco stopping McCrummy is great odds. Yeah, Diego stopping McCumby. Maybe a knockdown prop in that one too, because the money line odds, they're so wide right now. And watching McCumby versus Plant just doesn't feel the same anymore after watching Plant versus Resendez, right? High interest Appreciate you checking in, brother. Always appreciate your support. Guys, wherever you're tapping in, tuning in, always appreciate the support. Whether you're just liking the video, subscribing to the channel, supporting the channel in any way, I appreciate you. Tito, I'm leaning Fondora to outwork Tim. TJ, mate, same. Like right now, guys, I'm leaning on Fondora, and this sounds crazy because I live in Sydney, and I know a lot of the Aussies are going to come at me, but I'm not. You guys know I have to do this with reasoning. Just because I live in Sydney doesn't mean I'm always going to pick Tim, and just because I grew up in Ohio doesn't mean I'm always going to pick Ohio fighters. You know, I had when Thomas Matisse, the Gunner Man, fought just a couple fights ago. I went against Thomas Matisse. We broke down that fight. Damn it. So many fights in my head. He was fighting, I think, Raymond Ford. And people were like, dude, you picked Ford over Matisse? I'm like, come on, dude. Just because I'm from Northeast Ohio, I can't just pick every Northeast Ohio fighter. I love the unbiased, bro. DJ Green, I appreciate your feedback. Yeah, so that's where I'm trying kind of, and just how we learn on the chat, we learn from each other. I like getting your perspectives. Yeah, Raymond. And that fight, Ford was supposed to fight Kakachi coming up. I'm bummed that Kakachi pulled out. Fondora's had bad ads, like he said himself. I don't think he can probably set up good counter shot. Who you got in Lapin's first fight? Yeah, King Ty. We'll get to that. I'm breaking that fight down because a lot of you boys have been asking me to break down Daniel Lapin. Yeah, I think that plus money with Fondora and Zoo. Jesus, because it's crazy to see. I think Kakachi swerved against Nunes, right? We saw him do that recently, but I think Kakachi might be trying to get his body right after the Lee Wood fight. But I mean, he outright admitted he didn't want anything to do with Sugar Nunes. To give up your belt is pretty wild. To give up your belt to not fight Sugar, to take Lee Wood at, former 26 guy. I mean, he got paid more. He was open with that too, the contract. So I'm not gonna hate on. I like Kakachi. I got to be honest with you. Did anyone here take Bachram at 700? No, Pudgems. I didn't, because you have to remember, Pudgems Hayden. We saw Bachram coming off of his performance. Ramadan, his month of, he was fasting, and it's always like hindsight's 2020. Monday morning quarterback. You're breaking down Bachram's fight before, the fight before Tim, and you're like, dude, he just looks sluggish. And this is who he is. And then all of a sudden he fights Tim and just looks like a different guy. Not a lot of people I knew had Bachram winning. But looking back, it's like, how the hell did we not see it? So, and also the way Zoo's career, man, to go from that Fondora fight to Bachram. Look at the guys Tim has been lined up to fight. Charlo, Virgil, Bachram. I agree, Eister. I agree. I mean, what's Tim's best win? I mean, it was a close fight against Gachet. He stopped Tony Harrison, but we know Tony wasn't in his wrong end of the career for Tony Harrison. What's Zoo's best win? Same thing, TJ. Business decision. That's what I agree. I agree. That's why I'm not hating on him. But I wouldn't be too quick to say that he's dodging Ford. I was actually going to favor Kakachi against Ford. I'm not going to lie. So I actually think that he's in. I actually don't think he's lying about the injury. I knew it was going to be a tough fight. Mendoza was... Yeah, Brian Mendoza was class. Mendoza's a solid fighter. Knockdown prop. Gachet was a good one. Yeah, and Gachet dropped him, I think, in a second. I think that was at the Armory. Everybody talking about great man. He doesn't says, but Adrian... Yeah, what's up, 23? I'm not talking about... Dude, what do we know on the chat, boys, about old fighters? Anybody at any, like, the old fighter will always look good on the pads, always look good on the heavy bag, always look good jumping rope. Those are skills. Those skills stay with you. When the lights come on and the fight starts and you're an older guy in there with a younger guy, you know, the legs aren't the same. The punch resistance isn't the same. The reflex isn't the same. The instincts aren't the same. So to even think I would go heavy on Manny, look, I know he has a lot of fans worldwide. He's a walking legend. So I understand if if you guys are betting on Manny because of that. All right, you guys are saying older guys, but Donaire, if you're Donaire and Manny, Donaire fighting what, Campos? Who did Donaire fight? Andres Campos? And you're comparing that Donaire to, and Campos was like a domestic guy, I think. You're comparing that to Seb or Barrios versus Manny after Manny's long ass career in Manny's style. We know Manny been through a lot of wars, mate. Gets hit a lot. Uses his athleticism. Uses his speed at 46 years old, man. I don't expect that to look good. Besides the injury, do you think he could have pulled it off? Tim versus Fondora. I mean, now 55% of the subscribers are American, believe it or not. Tim has to be extremely mentally strong. I don't know, guys. What up, Johnny? My score. Disney's man. I wasn't seeing the same thing you guys were seeing the first 2 rounds with Tim versus Seb. I didn't see it one-sided. I thought Seb was going to figure him out. Hate that Manny is fighting. Yeah, same, Edgar. I'm not sold on Manny fighting. I don't like it. I don't like he's fighting. And I said it yesterday on our live stream. I just hope that Manny's not fighting because he needs money, because it feels like a money thing to me. Yeah, but we're comparing Badu Jack to Manny. We're comparing Nonito Donaire. Well, Nonito Donaire is a Hall of Famer. But, guys, Manny, watch it. Like, you got to take in consideration how he fought his entire career, how many fights he's had, how many divisions he's moved up. He's been stopped. That bad fucking knockout. I mean, and his style, what he relied on when he was at his best, what he relied on to be successful, athleticism, explosivity, all of that does not get better the older we get, boys. It doesn't. So to see how much Manny gained in his career in terms of money, and for him to be fighting because of money, I don't know, man. Your potential Pac-Man supporting subscribers is because I have money on Barrios. Nothing against Manny. Sherlock, take Timmy Boy. Yeah, I really like... I mean, Manny is aging like fine wine. I mean, he's only a couple years older than me. He's 46. I'm 43. Yeah, and Gomez. I like Arturo Cardenas. I like this fight. Dominic Crowder is an undefeated fighter. Arturo Cardenas is a guy we last featured on the channel. He's a fun prospect. Doesn't he fight out of RG Robert Garcia? He was supposed to fight Jerron Ennis, stablemate. Ennis's guy pulled out the week of the fight, and he still fought. He looked good. I mean, Crowder has a nice record, but it's a step up, I think, in terms of Cardenas, what he's done so far against a guy with what is Crowder, 17-0, I think. Yeah, Manny and B-Hop's style, 2 different things. Yeah, B-Hop was, defensive savant. Manny doesn't fight that way. I think, don't be shocked if Barrios stops Manny. I'm just saying, punch resistance, youth, energy, 6 feet tall, range. I don't want to see that fight. I'm not one of these guys sitting here excited to see the return of Manny Pacquiao. I'm just sorry to say that. I'm not trying to offend you. Fierro versus Pitbull, that's going to be the fight of the week. We talked about that. Yeah, Seb has that sort of Tommy Hearns power, those long punchers, not quite as big of a pop as Kelly Pavlik, but Pavlik had the same thing. Tall, long, lean punchers who punch down just have a certain torque on their shots. I mean, if he's trained at 47, he didn't look good against Abel Ramos, guys. That's the thing. That's why I'm probably not going to bet on that fight. I have to break the fight down. I mean, I'd be ill-advised to say 46-year-old Pac-Man with logical reasoning is going to beat 30-year-old Mario Barrios. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a really tough one for me to come to terms with. Like I said, when I saw Manny's coming out of retirement to fight Barrios, I'm like, Jesus. Another matchup that doesn't make our sport look great. We talked about the Q at 47, but guys, 147 is one of the thinnest divisions out there. It's insane. You know, only a couple years ago at 47, you had Virgil, you had Bud, you had EJ. This was only a few years ago. Now, look at 47. It's so thin. The names at 47 are so thin. You thought Barrios looked good against Abel Ramos? I did not think he looked good against Abel Ramos. That fight was on the undercard in, wasn't that Tyson Paul? I couldn't believe, I couldn't believe how bad Barrios looked against Abel Ramos. I'm sorry. The PBC always making shitty matchups. Yeah, it's a money grab, man. Why not bring the cash cow Manny Pacquiao back? Why not get a bag? I understand all that. I understand the promotional side of things, the money side of things. The world's gonna be tuning in. It's Manny Pacquiao. God damn, if people are gonna watch a sideshow like Tyson versus Paul, they're definitely gonna watch Manny fight Barrios with the opportunity of the 46-year-old legend to come off the couch and become a world champion again. Like an eagle in the house. What's up? Guys, wherever you check in, appreciate you. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't. If you could afford a couple bucks a month, support the channel, become a Johnny Says Boxing Insider. The link is right on my page. Lester Martinez, is it confirmed? And, you know, Lester was supposed to fight last weekend or the weekend before, and he pulled out due to migraines, headaches. And that was kind of our thought, though. You know, people were talking about it. It's hard to say that he pulled out for, you know, that he wasn't getting migraines, but also probably going to be placed on a bigger card. Mabili versus Lester. Mate, that's a good fight. I want to see Lester tested. I want to see Mabili tested. That's a good fight. God damn, that uppercut Mabili landed against, was it Selecki? Just the other week? That was insane. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Martinez is ready for Mabili. We'll see. What's up, Jake, in the house? Appreciate you. There's a lot of, guys, is it ever, the one thing we must say, the hype month to month with fights was not like this last year. I wasn't doing live streams last year because, you know, the buzz wasn't, I feel like we're at like a fever pitch right now with these matchups. It's insane. So from a betting perspective, it's important to not get too big-eyed and bet on every fight. Because we saw last week, guys, I know I got starched with some of my parlays, but think about how many close decisions there were that I feel could have gone either way. We've won some close ones. We lost some close ones. Just last week alone, Taylor Serrano was close. Obviously, we know about the Morel Kataev outcome. Puello Matias, that outcome. And then on the girl card before Serrano and Taylor, man, I thought Miranda, to that scorecard, Miranda versus Bumgarner was insane. Two of those judges scored it, what, 90 to 82, I think? It was insane. Or 80 to 70. Two of those judges gave Miranda 2 rounds. I was like, I thought that fight could have gone either way. I was impressed with 38-year-old Miranda against Bumgarner, even though my point is there's a lot of close fights, a lot of 50-50 fights. I've been betting almost every week for boxing. The summer it's been crazy, Sox. Canelo fight Shiraz. People want to see that fight. Canelo has to see. We got to see what Canelo looks like against Bud. Yeah, I took on the money line. Obviously, my money line parlay got toasted with Berlanga, but I went heavy for the fight not to go the. Guys, we got $1.90 for the fight not to go the distance against Shiraz versus Berlanga. That's what I'm looking for week to week now. Is, you know, the $1.80 stoppage wins for Josh Kelly against Flavio Bea, a fighter who had never fought out of his home country. We hit huge on that. Like Shiraz Berlanga not to go the distance, $1.90, dude. Come on. That's what I'm looking at. High interest. So high interest, you go to my boxing fan. If you're on here, could you help high interest out? I just looked at Solomon's opponent. He's only fought bums. Solomon is paying $450. Got knocked out by Adelaide. Yeah, he's talking about Vladislav Solomon Dacker. Shit. I mean, I think what's going to happen for me this week with my betting, with where I'm going to put my money at, I do this every week. I'm listing the fights before I bet. I list the fights that I'm not betting on. Dino Mac in the house, mate. I appreciate you supporting the channel like that. Just want to show some love from the Shy. Appreciate you, Dino. So what I do is I make a list first of fights I'm not betting on. I'm staying away. And then I see what I'm left with. And then we go from there. What's up, DJ? Because I've been guilty in the past, historically, of getting too big-eyed. Like, you know, with UFC fights and I only bet on UFC and boxing. I know some of you boys are betting on tennis, baseball. You guys are doing home run parlays. It's wild. Okay, so Havelock, this is what we're talking about. He has his rules, cruiserweights and heavyweights. You know, I'm no longer putting a lot of money on gold medal Olympians. You know, the gold medal Olympians lately have been ruining my parlays. Yeah, so Tomas, right now I have Gallon at $2.20, but my book hasn't opened up the other fights on the undercard of Gallon versus Sonny Bill. I'll be going to those fights tomorrow night. The minute they open up the undercard, because guys, these are feeder fights. The Aussie undercards are easy money. I tell you guys this all the time. I always post those winning parlays. A month ago on the Sam Goodman fight card, we hit a 22-1. So I'm just waiting. I'm kind of licking my chops to see the undercard fights if they're going to let us bet. The return of Gary Russell Jr. Are you guys betting on him? $1.07. I mean, he's fighting a guy named Marroquin, and Gary Russell. You know, we know what Gary Russell brings to the table is hand speed. We just haven't seen him in so long. Boxing fan house. Yeah, no, mate, DJ. And then, so I'm probably not going to bet on Gary Russell Jr. just because we haven't seen him. Alan Picasso, you boys were high on Alan Picasso. No one's saying his name. Picasso's $1.10 fighting Kameda. I mean, Kameda at 7-1 is pretty wide in my opinion. I think that fight should be a bit closer. Mark Magsayo's fighting. I know a lot of you. Dude, the Filipino fans are going to have a field day this weekend. You got Magsayo and Pacquiao fighting? Oh, my God. You guys are going to have a parade. That's a compliment. Oh, my God. Go to our Facebook group. Our Facebook group has about 37,000 people in it. It's Boxing News Today, and it's flooded all the time with, like, Magsayo, Pacquiao content. So Russell Jr. I mean, why is Russell Jr. all of a sudden fighting? You know what I mean? Like this is a guy that we know with the Russells, all the skill in the world, fundamentally sound, the hand speed's unbelievable. But what's the key word when we think about any of the Russells? Inactivity. So you got to think about, why does he want to fight now? Is he seeing that his brother now is a world champion and he wants a little bit of that brush and he wants to give it one more go? If that's the case, we got to expect a motivated and a prepared Gary Russell Jr. Am I going to bet on him? I'm probably not going to bet on him. I root for Max Howard hard when he fights. I wish he would work on his energy, man. Yeah, he's fun to watch. David? Are you betting on Max Howard? Because if you guys think Picasso and Magsayo are locks, if you just take Magsayo and Picasso, yeah, not a lot to do. On the money line, $1.27. There's a few lot. You guys think Ammo? I rarely, after watching Ammo kind of struggle with Patrice Volney, I think Ammo is a bigger favorite in that fight than he is against, he's fighting an African fighter. He's a 5-1 favorite. Magsayo, Cruz, Pacheco by knockout, Picasso, Barrios, Fondora, Bam, Ammo. Tomas out here eating, boy. I'll do that and slap. Put a little Usyk on it. I'm actually not betting on Magsayo, probably. A little three-leg action. I like it. Yeah, I like it. I'm obviously in traditional Johnny Says Boxing YouTube channel fashion. I'm posting a long parlay. Well, you know, that's kind of our wishing well. Maybe we call that my wishing well parlay. But I used to hit those, and then as of a month ago, I've been actually hitting my prop bets. So we'll see what happens. Gary came out of retirement and said he wants that Loma rematch. Come on. What a time to call Loma. I don't see Loma coming back. Do you guys? Loma seems like the type when you know what the Loma retirement, at least for me, sounds like, is Khabib Nurmagomedov retiring. When Khabib retired and walked away, his reasoning, family related, we know, losing his father, Abdul, and then his relationship with his mother. We know when Khabib speaks, you kind of believe him. And I think I feel the same way about Loma. Yeah, Loma retired. So for Gary to say, I don't see Loma coming back. Guys, we're about 40 minutes into this live stream. We're floating between 50 and 70. Just like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you can, we have a couple bucks a month. Johnny says Boxing Insider Group. Join that as well. Who would the PBC have Pacquiao set up fight if he were to pull off the upset? David, that's a good question. Who would you put Pacquiao in there at 147? Pacquiao. Bring EJ to... Low man go... Yeah, he ain't coming back. Is Errol coming back? I've been watching Errol on his Instagram, mate, with his motivational quotes. Errol's been posting training. You know, Errol's in shape at least. I posted on our channel footage of EJ playing soccer, and he looks like he's at like 12% body fat. So... I mean, people are still in the behind. Errol Spence Jr. fans, the Texan boys, are still in the background saying he's coming back. I mean, there's killers at 54. What do you do with Pacquiao, Dave? If Pacquiao beats Barrios, what do you do with him? I don't know. Havelock, my favorite Gary Russell Jr. interview was when him and Bud were going back and forth, and Bud was cooking him. Pac versus Raleigh. Tank. I'm over Tank, boys. Guys, even before this, I'm over Tank. I've been way past over Tank. Tank. Just 2 weeks ago on our live stream, I was telling you he's a weirdo, and then sure enough, he gets arrested again for domestic violence, and people are like, oh, wait till the facts come out. What are you talking about? This is a historical guy who repetitively gets arrested for the same thing. So I don't even care about it. It's so wild to see how, at least me personally, how my opinion of that guy changed from when he popped onto the scene. Man, I'm just more, as a fight fan, I'm just more disappointed at that dude. So I don't even talk about, I don't want to see him fight Manny. But Raleigh, I don't know if I want to see Raleigh. I don't want to see Manny fight, guys. I want Manny to stay retired. I'm not one of these dudes who are going to sit here and say I'm excited about watching Manny box again. Watching an old man come out, and you know, he's only a little bit older than me, but I mean, so I lived about 7 years in Southern California from the time I was 21 till I was 28, and I had just moved there from Pittsburgh, and I moved to Long Beach, California, and I was working at a Latin nightclub right on the beach in Long Beach, right on the border of Long Beach and Seal Beach, called Lapa Lapa. It was amazing, and everybody who worked in the back, they were from a part of Mexico called Michoacan. So the way I was learning how to speak Spanish, they were learning to speak English, and we would speak to each other that way. So I worked there for 6 years, and over time, they got me into Mexican La Liga football. So to come full circle, watching Mexican La Liga football, my God, when you're watching soccer and you're not, and I wasn't a soccer fan, when you watch, and then you go from watching that to watching the World Cup, and it's like, once you watch the World Cup, you can't watch Mexican La Liga soccer. It's two different things. When you watch Manny Pacquiao at his best, when he's in his prime, you don't want to watch Manny Pacquiao at 46. You don't want to see it. It's the same thing with any aging fighter. Especially, there's one thing with an aging fighter who's aging, and he hasn't called it quits yet. There's another thing with a guy who's aged himself out, who's retired, and he's come back. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it for the sake of the sport. I don't want to see it for the sake of his health. I don't want to see it for the sake of his family. That's all I'm saying. And that's where I stand on it. So to even think we're thinking about what does he do next is insane. I don't want to see. Well, Canelo's only 30. Canelo might be the oldest 35-year-old on earth. Is Canelo 34, 35? It's insane. Canelo seems like he's 58 years old. I mean, he went pro in his teens. He's been around forever. But yeah, hopefully my point makes sense. For me, at least, it makes sense. It's like when you see boxing done at the highest level, it's kind of hard to watch amateur boxing. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard. That's why I'm like, going into this spectacle tomorrow night in Sydney, I mean, I'm not that stoked about staying up out. I'm an old man. I don't like staying up past 10 p.m. You know, I'm usually in bed by 9 p.m. So like Sonny Bill and Gallen are fighting at 10 p.m. and I have to be out at an arena, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm not looking forward to that. And they're not world class. They're the first guys to tell you they're not world class. But for the sake of the rivalry, being in Australia since 2013, they've been going back and forth. I'm not gonna miss the spectacle. And Anthony Mundine's. So if you guys know about Chalk Mundine, Anthony Mundine, you know, one of the greatest two-way sports stars in Australia. He was a great rugby player. Had a good boxing career. His dad was a really good boxer. His dad fought Carlos Monzon once. So Tony Mundine. So the Mundines are a boxing family. They still, the Mundine boxing gym. His son is fighting on this undercard. So I'm going for that as well. Johnny, you not old. I don't take protein shakes. I don't take protein shakes. I'm a water guy. Yeah, I'm 43, so born in 1982. No gray hairs yet either. My girl's like, you don't have any gray hairs yet. You're 43. I'm like, them bitches are coming. Them grays are coming, boy. I don't like taking any compliments for things that I can't control. So when she's like, how do you not have gray? I'm like, bitch, them grays are coming. It's only a matter of time. It's like when people compliment people for things that, are genetically given. I do not do well with unwarranted compliments. But picks for the week. Good is checking in. Go. Goat. DJ, are you boys here? You guys see who just checked in? Good. You give us your picks. I'm about to put Good on the live, boy. He's been getting wild lately on the live streams. Good. You tell us your picks. I'm 43. Yeah. I know they're coming, Tito. I know they're coming, baby. 1982 in the house, class of 82. Would you rather see Floyd? No, I don't. But would I rather see Floyd or Manny? I mean, I would actually watch Floyd versus Manny again. I would watch Floyd and Manny again. But I think it would be an exhibition, right? Or I don't see Floyd fighting again. Seriously. Yeah. Next gen. Yeah. Good is the one on the NBA, but Good was dropping some controversial takes yesterday. Yesterday, Good said that Jaron Ennis isn't a good boxer. Yeah, Floyd put the everyone was sharing that. I feel bad for Roy. People forget how good Roy was. TJ got 5 fights on upset alert. TJ, let us see him, baby. Why are you holding out? TJ, guys, when you guys email me and message me on Insta and you have different tag names on here, I don't know if you're the same people. So TJ, are you the dude who we go back and forth on the email? And I just read your email today and it had you sent me your ticket and it's insane. The dude hits like everything he bets on. If this is the case, TJ, you need to come on my live stream. And this is, yeah. What's the upset alerts? You're Chilltown? So damn, I'm confused. Because I just watched Gary's live stream and Chilltown was on. See, you guys got all these names. I'm not on Twitter, man. I'm on Insta and email. It will be, he's good. Okay, I never put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, man, you're a beast, dude. The parlay you just sent me over the last, I just watched you. Yeah, you were talking about how, I didn't know you were the same guy. The email you just sent me, mate, that I checked this morning is insane, bro. TJ Chilltown has this parlay working where his patience throughout the entire game is like he has a parlay that's cooking from like you have a fight on there from like 3 months ago. I'm like, damn. So I responded back to you. I was like, dude, you are patient. I need to learn your patience because it's looking nice, dude. All right, I didn't realize this is the same guy, man. You're like a ghost. I didn't know you're the same guy. Cool, man. You definitely have to come on because your boxing knowledge is top notch. Especially like I don't have any. I've never once thought of doing a parlay from like 3 months ago and working. And you got it. There's that one upset that a couple upsets that you got on there that they hit. Pretty impressive. Guys, we're about 50 minutes into the live stream. TJ, what are the upset alerts you're talking about? Because I'm looking at the odds right now. The only thing I don't like about it is extemporaneous. Yeah. Books have me limited. That's wild, mate. Because I know Muscles has said I know his casino recently changed the parlay rules at one of the casinos he lives at. So upset alert. Does anybody see Fierro beating Pitbull? And people like, man, I'm over. I don't know if I'm betting on ammo. People like Joette. Yeah, Joette. People like Joette over Figgy. And like I said, I could see that one. I don't like what Figueroa looked like against Fulton, mate. Blue collar, what's up, bud? I've been limited too. Damn, I know a lot of you boys, you guys are getting limited out here. Maybe there's a room for a product out there. If you boys are getting limited, you put a bag on Fierro. How heavy? You think Fierro can win a decision? A lot of people are saying Gonzalez over Figueroa. That's strictly based on what Figueroa looked like against Fulton, right? Because we've seen Joette come out and not really have the best. I'm being diplomatic here. We've seen Joette go out there and not have the best performances. Any of you boys see Dubois over Usyk? Bam is fighting a tough opponent. I mean, Cafu, undefeated African fighter. Cafu's really aggressive when you watch his tape. He only has, I think, 11, 12 fights. Three of them are draws. Yeah, I never bet on Brandon Figueroa, TJ. I never do. I've gone on rants before on the live streams about it. I don't bet on any of the Figueroas. Omar Figueroa. It all started with Omar fighting Abel Ramos. Once that started, when Omar changed his entire fight style to fight Abel, it looked like he was, you fill in the blanks if you've watched that fight. It was insane. So, and then I don't bet on either Figueroa brother. Anyone seen Lorena beat Oakley? I made money on Sergey Lipnitz. Never since the last time he fought. Joe can never step up and succeed. Some fighters can't, can they? I'm not convinced on Lawrence Oakley either. It was weird. Yeah, he started doing this. He started doing this thing. He was walking into hooks. I thought after that fight, I thought Abel Ramos was going to be like that dude for a long time. You know, he still had a pretty solid career. But Omar Figueroa made Abel Ramos look like the next big thing. He was literally slipping into hooks. It was insane. He was like trying to be pretty. It was weird. And then Brandon kind of took a page out of that book against Fulton. It was bizarre. Boxing's a weird sport like that. Sometimes you look at performances and you're kind of like, yeah, Lorena is tough. Any of you boys taking Lorena over Oakley? Lawrence Oakley. I don't rate him either. You think he beats him? Yeah, he's a tough one to get a good sort of. He's had bad performances. He's looked flat sometimes. You hear the announcers talk about in between rounds his mental state. He's in the corner looking defeated sometimes. He's another. When I see guys like that, I don't bet on him. It's hard for me to put money on a guy who body language kind of you're screaming at the TV talking about, "Come on, mate, wake up." It's like I'm not gonna ever bet on a guy that I question their mental. And those odds are tempting right now. Brandon won me money versus Magdaleno, 7-9, 7-12. Get your money fresh, BX. Joette might be too small. Lorena is super live in that. He did, yeah. That's the TJ. That's the fight I'm talking about. That CBS fight. And I think we talked about it earlier. Lorena's only been stopped against was it Dubois? And he took Justice the distance, and Lorena had wobbled Justice late. He lost that fight though. There's a lot of action here. Somebody said Arturo Cardenas. Guys, it's 7:24. I gotta get an upload. I have an upload I have to get to. So I'm gonna be uploading the probably either Pacheco or Bam. I think I'm gonna upload Bam right now. And I have another client. I have a live stream I have to do with an online client in 30 minutes. But pay attention to the channel. I'll be uploading the breakdowns on the playlist fight predictions. If you haven't already, because you Hit like. Could you hit subscribe? If you can, join our Johnny Says Boxing Insider group. It's only a couple bucks a month. And TJ, chill time. I'm definitely emailing you. We got to do a live this week. I got to pick your brain on some things. And stay tuned to the channel, guys. I appreciate you. I'm going live again in a couple hours, so stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about.